Hi, hello, and welcome to my Southeast Asian travel adventures, all aboard to Krabi. I flew to Krabi from Bangkok and was fetched by the friendliest taxi driver and drove like 1.5 hours to the coastal town of Ao Nang. We drove through so many beautiful villages along the way as we had to take a back route, and the mountainous nature was just stunning. I genuinely don't even know where this day has gone. The taxi ride to my hostel took a really long time, like an hour. So beautiful though. Oh my god, the mountains, the cliffs, the sea, the green, the palm trees. Just chef's kiss. It was amazing. So I really enjoyed the ride, but it was very, very, very long. And then I arrived, and the check-in process was the longest check-in process of my life because there were so many people waiting to check in. I think I just came at like peak time, and so I waited maybe half an hour, and then I still hadn't had lunch, and it was like 3 p.m. and all I really had was fruit in the morning, so I was dying of hunger. So I had lunch, and it's now 4:30, so I've lost most of the day. But I've planned everything. I've booked all my tours now with the hostel. So tomorrow I'm going on a full island hopping tour. I'm going snorkeling. And the next day I'm going on a half day like kayaking through a mangrove forest along the river kind of vibe. And now that I've planned everything, I feel less stressed about taking immediate action. And I'm just gonna use this evening to chill. I have a call with my boyfriend planned later. So I'm just gonna go see the local beach, the Ao Nang beach, because I'm in Ao Nang, the city or the town. And then in the evening I'm gonna go to the night market. And then that will be it for today, but I'm happy to have a more chill day, to be honest, because I've also been trying to do my essays for my uni on the side, and it's been a chaotic day. Although the flight was very productive. Also, I'm such a fool. There was an empty window seat next to me, and I was like waiting until the plane was full because I was like, someone might take the seat, but I really wanted to like move over, so I was like, I'll just wait and see if anyone takes the seat, and if not, I'll move over. Being the fool that I am, that seat was intended for the friend who couldn't come on the trip, but because we booked all our flights together, the way that works is if I check in, it checks us both in because it's like a combined booking. So she was technically checked in, so that seat was technically hers, and I think that's going to be the case for like all 3 of the next flights that I'm going on. So it's kind of nice. It means I'm kind of guaranteed a free seat next to me the whole time, and next time I will actually know that instead of staring at everyone with this death stare like you better not be taking this seat. Anyway, I had a nice window seat. That's all. But look at this. I don't know if you can tell, but this is a deeper than normal bunk bed. This is bigger than a normal single bed, so that's cool. I had a little gander along the beach in the afternoon, and it seemed everyone in town had the same idea as me. I saw a cute path called the Monkey Walk or the Monkey Trail, something like that, which I thought was very intriguing, but alas, I saw 0 monkeys, and at the end of the trail, after climbing so many stairs, there was a private beach that you could only go on if you were a hotel guest of this specific hotel. I played the mysterious solo traveling woman as I strolled along the beach upon my return from the trail. I was just in time to witness some people from the island tours returning. Seeing just how many boats were pulling up to dump people gracelessly onto the shore, I began to have a few apprehensions about my own trip and how touristy/ethical it would be. Foreshadowing, eyebrows. But much like a magpie, I was quickly distracted by something shiny when I saw a group setting up for a fire performance. So I decided to hang around until sunset, which is when the show was meant to be, and I was rewarded for my patience with the most mesmerizing performance. The confidence to juggle fire is aspirational, and I was just like agog the whole time. I then went to what I thought was the big night market that everyone talks about, but it was actually just a smaller market that happened to also be open at night, and I only realized this the day I left. So I also saw a tattoo parlor called Family Tattoo, and I was so curious, was the place run by a family of tattoo artists, or was it a family friendly tattoo place? Like, come on in for matching tattoos for everyone, even little Jimmy over there. Or once you're tattooed, are you part of the family? So many questions. The next morning I had a delicious acai bowl at the cafe next to my hostel before being loaded up into a truck for my 4 island hopping tour. So I went to 4 different nearby islands, as the name suggest, and got lunch included, which was really nice. I met some amazing South Africans on the boat. The only South Africans I met my entire trip, by the way. And I got to snorkel in the water, and that was really cool. On the other hand, this was far too touristic for my liking. I felt a lot of shame as I felt like I was feeding this monster. At each place we stopped, there were dozens of boats and hundreds of people. The reefs when we went snorkeling were completely destroyed in a lot of areas, and the visibility in the water when snorkeling was really rough because the water was like a highway. One woman on my boat had done this tour like 25 years ago, and she was returning with her daughter, and she said the last time she was here there were only a couple of boats at each island and everything looks so different now. I know in our ever globalized world that this is the case for most tourist destinations. Everything is more touristy now, and had I done more in-depth research in advance, I may have realized what I was partaking in and chosen not to. I definitely learned my lesson and encourage you to learn from my mistakes if this is also important to you, because I definitely could have done a lot more research and realized what I was contributing to. I was really lucky though to find a more secluded beach on Poda Island after lunch with the South African guys, and we went off for like 45 minutes snorkeling. There was actual coral, the visibility was good, we didn't have to worry about getting hit by a boat, and I saw so many beautiful shoals of fish, including stunningly colourful parrotfish, and really had the best time playing mermaid. After a brief recovery at the hostel, I headed to Tiger Cave Temple, which was a 45-minute grab motorbike away. I really wanted to give it another chance, but it was even scarier than the first time. That is from the death grip that I had on that fucking bike the entire way. Scary.
First day of spring, remember clearly. Close to my heart, I hold you dearly. Last day of fall, that was the saddest.
I am dying. No clue what step I'm on, but I am melting, and there's blood rushing in my ears.
Didn't want to lose you, but what could I do? Lie down, eyes open, try to forget you. Wait for an answer to my burning question. I'm so in love, but feel so neglected. Winter started, we parted soon after. Stuck in my head, the sound of your laughter. Look at your face and remember why. Pictures of you just make me want to cry. Didn't want to lose you, but what could I do? Lie down, eyes open, try to forget you. Wait for an answer, my burning questions. I'm so in love, but feel so
I decided to get a motorbike, like a grab motorbike there to the temple because it was really far and it was so expensive to get a car, and I'm not confident driving a motorbike myself yet, especially in this chaos. It's so chaotic here. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a grab. And in Bangkok, all of the grab motorbikes have helmets to give their clients or passengers. Here they do not. I did not realize that. And so the guy pulls up, no helmet for me, and I'm like, okay. And then I was just like, this is one of my first times, can we go kind of slow? And I don't know, either he didn't understand or didn't give a fuck, but we did not go slow. We were overtaking, we were weaving, we were on a highway going 100 kilometers an hour at least, and I had no fucking helmet on, and I was like, this is how I die. Like, this is, I have put myself in this position, and this is how I die. But after a while, the fear of death kind of, like, there's only so much adrenaline your body can pump, you know, so I think I just kind of numbed myself, but I was still, like, having to ground myself because I was like, you cannot faint, you cannot faint, you cannot faint. So, it was stressful. The hike was amazing. The hike was super worth it because of the view, but it was sweaty. I lost about 50% of my body water, I think, on that hike. I was drenched, but it was very beautiful, and oh my gosh, the sunset with the mist in the valley, it was amazing, and it was so lovely. Like, there was so much camaraderie, everyone was so friendly and supportive, and like, you're so close, just a few more staircases to go, but it was a while. It took like half an hour to get up, and the steps were steep, like really steep, most of them, like more steep than like that step up was longer than the length of my hand. So it was, and then on the way back down, there were a bunch of monkeys on the staircase, which I was like, oh, really cute. And then I saw one of them attack the shoe of like a man in front of me, and I was like, oh, okay, it's one of those situations. They're a bit aggy, and I think it's because people sometimes feed them, so they're a bit cheeky. I just had this flash in my mind of the person who gave me all my vaccinations, and they were like, are you sure you don't want rabies? And I was like, it's really expensive, I'm not gonna pet any stray dogs. And they were like, but there's a lot of monkeys and sometimes they have rabies. And I was like, it's not as if I'm gonna go up to a monkey and pet it. Like, I will keep my distance from the monkeys, it's fine, I don't need my rabies vaccines. But that is what I said to this person, and now I am watching this cheeky little baby monkey attack this man's shoe, and I was like, fuck, this is how I get rabies. And he's gonna be like, I told you so. But luckily it was fine. We were able to like sidestep them and like get past, and it was completely fine. But the man was really nice. He waited and made sure like everyone behind him got past the monkeys, and he was so sweet. Now I just had dinner, and I've booked in a massage for 9:20. So it's gonna be really relaxing into the day. I'm pretty pumped about it. I think it's gonna be really good. Yeah, I went in to book, and it smelled amazing, and it was so quiet, and like just stepping in from the chaos of the street, I was like, yes, this is what I need. So yeah, it's a long day, but this last bit is definitely worth it, I think. I chose to have a more relaxing morning and went to a cafe where I finally completed and submitted my last 2 university assignments for the year. And these are the last assignments I will ever do for the University of Bristol, because I'm about to graduate. I am almost a graduate, which is insane. Now I need to go celebrate by putting myself in a kayak and paddling until I can't feel my arms anymore. I am kayak ready. Fun fact, this shirt is it's a Southern Cross. It's really cute. I thrifted it where my family live in South Africa, and thought nothing of it. Was really excited actually that the shirt fit me so well. And then I went on a hike a few days later, and these girls came up to me and were like, oh, we went to the same primary school. And I was like, what? And they were like, Southern Cross Primary School, we went to that primary school. And I was like, oh no, I am wearing a shirt for a 10-year-old. So needless to say, I have never worn that shirt in that town again. There was a flash storm on the way to kayaking, and I was quite concerned this was going to be an issue, but it actually cleared up pretty quickly. We even stopped off at a pineapple field on the way, which was really cute. Also, I don't know if I prefaced, but this kayaking tour was one that went through the mangrove forests along the river, and I ended up going with a girl I met at my hostel. And although once again this was quite touristy, it was still beautiful, and it was funny because a lot of the people had never kayaked before, which led to a lot of accidental bumps and crashes, and it was really funny.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my...
The next morning, it was time to leave. I had a very early wake up and headed for the airport. Ao Nung itself was not my favorite. It was just a touristy resort town with no local culture, and every second restaurant was like an Italian place. I think I've seen this film before, like in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. I said the exact same thing. It's made me realize these really aren't my kinds of places, and once again I should have done more research. As I have said so many times, I was meant to do this trip with a friend and she pulled out, and this was one of her contributions to the itinerary, and I should have done a lot more research into it myself. But I think I managed to make the most of the situation destination, and I still met so many sweet people along the way. I'm also learning a lot about how I actually prefer to travel and what I want out of these experiences, so the self-reflection is clearly going well. See you in our next stop in Chiang Mai.